you a party animal?
Relationships are a two-way street. Pour into them as they pour into you. Don't say brace yourself. It's just a part of life. And personally, I think it took me a while to really embrace, Hi YouTube family, welcome everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Nancy if you are seeing my face for the first time. So I have a video lined up today where I will be talking about things you need to know before diving into your 20s. So today's video is low-key dedicated to my younger viewers, so if you're interested in this, please stick around. So I will be talking about, the first thing I will be talking about is choosing the right college degree. So I'm making this based on the fact that you're probably 17 to 20 or even older, because it's not everybody that gets into a university straight out of high school. Some people have to wait a couple of years, and if this is you, then I think this point is very important. And I think I'm starting it off because after high school, secondary school, the next thing in most individuals' mind is career path. Most people already know what that decision will be, but for people who do not know, it's important that you choose the right degree or the right career path that is important to you, not anybody else. The career you choose really does shape a lot of things beyond what you're seeing now. Choosing a degree requires a lot of self-reflection on your part, what interests you, what you gravitate towards, just things of that nature, things that excite you or things that you see yourself doing possibly in the next 10, 15, or even 20 years. It's important that you choose something that reflects you and not just what you think, other people expect of you. And I think that's a lot of mistake a lot of younger people do. Oh, this will make my parents happy. I'm not saying disrespect your parents. I'm just saying think long term, and this is a place for you to self-reflect, seek guidance, especially from people in the field that you're interested in. It really helps a lot. It really does. And it's also important to keep your options very open, because if you're not able to get the particular course that you want, what are your options? So it's important to research various fields that you like. I can't say this enough, because testing the waters or just being open-minded to so many other things will help. From the jump, I have always said it was medicine, and even when I tried to deviate from medicine, I always chose courses that were related to medicine. In fact, I feel like at some point I wanted to do tech, because I feel like I have that capacity, and I know that I still have the capacity to do that. Maybe that can be my goal in the next, when I'm 40 or something. But right now, from the jump, I have always known it was medicine I wanted to do. And so I have followed through on that decision, not wavering, not allowing anybody to coerce me, not allowing anybody to talk down on it, even though so many times I wanted to give up. But yes, it's important to test the waters and see where your interests truly lie. Another thing is, I feel like you might also struggle with, especially if it's a course that is not socially accepted, but especially with your parents. I'm talking about this from an African point of view. There's a way I think about it. I think that if you're not able to convince your parents by words, I think you have to make a dramatic move. By dramatic, hold on. I feel one thing that I feel works for me is coming prepared to your parents with proof, with evidence, and facts. Show them people who have done what you intend to do. Show them where they are at. If you come with proof and facts, you can't argue with that, can you? No. So one interesting thing I would recommend is you can literally sit down and do a PowerPoint presentation. Sit them down and no smiling. Me, I'm always smiling because normally they know I'm not a serious person. But for you, you're trying to prove a point and you're trying to let them know that this is what you want to do. And you've assessed the long-term goals of this career choice. Let them see why you want to do it and why it's important for you to do it. I don't know if that will work for your family, but if they see your determination, that being the word determination, I don't think it'll be hard for them to just allow you do what you want, especially for career choice. The second point I like to talk about is embracing failure and learning from it. This is important because, child, I have to say, the older you get, the more you realize that, these things are inevitable. You have to go through them. And, it's important that you embrace whatever comes out of those failures. And it sounds easier in words, but in reality, it's a very painful thing, especially getting rejected. If you're now over 20, getting rejected from a job, getting rejected from a university, getting rejected just in life in general. It sounds so easy to say, but I'm here to encourage you, like, it will pass. It will surely pass, and take it in good stride and just try and see what the lesson in that time really is, because there are lessons every moment of our lives, every day of our lives, and it's important for you to identify and pick out what is essential. Don't let failures discourage you. Don't let it set you back, and don't let it take you a few years back, a few steps back. You could be just making the process even longer. So surround yourself with people that you feel would be able to lift you up and understand where you're coming from, especially when it comes to failure, because it can be so mentally draining, and failures can come anyway. Like I said, it could be rejection from family, rejection from friends, rejection from career, rejection from relationships, both platonic and romantic relationships. Yes, so it's important that I won't say brace yourself, it's just a part of life. And personally, I think it took me a while to really embrace that, and it's okay for you to take your time as well to truly understand how you navigate the concept of failure or failure in general. I'm still navigating. I can't say I fully navigated it. I'm still navigating, and this is just to encourage you to keep your focus, to keep your head straight, and just not allow these things to completely break you down. It's okay to be broken down. Get yourself back up, because only you can really pick up yourself. Everybody can be a source of inspiration, source of help, but you have to do this for yourself. Point would be self-discovery. I think the journey to discovering yourself starts really early. I feel like it really starts especially when you're outside of home. Maybe that's the case for me. I left home very early, and I feel like it took me a while. I knew who I was, but it took me a while to really define my boundaries. So the journey of self-discovery, it doesn't end in your 20s. It continues even beyond that. 30s, 40s. Even our parents are still trying to discover certain things about themselves. But, this video is focused on 20s. You kind of start that journey in your early 20s. You find out what you like, what you don't like, what interests you. And then sometimes you discover a year later, like, I don't care about this thing. What I cared for 3 years ago, absolutely not the same right now. So the journey of self-discovery is really ever changing. It's constantly being renewed when you discover new people, new things, and your focus and your perspective sort of shifts. It really also just lays a strong foundation for your future endeavors. And when you continue to discover yourself, people get to see that, and they get to understand where you're going as well. And making it clear, especially when you start to set boundaries. People might not like it initially, but at some point they'll have to respect your boundaries. It's also the time to figure out your personal values, what you like, your interests. Are you a homebody? Are you a party animal? Or are you just someone who just wants to take life really easy, not being swayed by people's influence? Because that is a thing, when you're really young, you're trying to move with the crowd, but setting your foot down, it kind of starts at this point. You don't have to learn the hard way from other people's experiences. You can figure out what you like now. If you don't want to move with a certain crowd, start it now. if you know you don't want to be associated with certain types of things, kind of sort of start it now. I mean, nobody's perfect, but yes, the journey to self-discovery is ever changing. The next point is goal setting and planning. Like I've said, the foundation you lay now really does play a part where you're going. Life will come up with lots of hiccup. You know, some things you can't control them. Some things are just going to be hard to deal with and painful to deal with. But, you know, in spite of that, or regardless of that, you know, setting your goals and ensuring you're sticking to those goals will really set you apart. Goal setting and planning, it should come from you. I'm saying this so early on because I've seen so many situations where, you know, goal setting and planning has been done by parents. And it's not wrong. It comes from a place of love. It comes from a place of just trying to ensure you don't make mistakes. But then you're set back a little bit, especially it kind of ties into my first point of ensuring you choose the right career. It kind of sets you back because now you've wasted probably 5 years of your life doing something you have no interest in, and you're starting afresh. That's 5 years of your life you're most likely not going to get back, you know. So set goals, plan towards them, and you know, there's this saying that, you know, there's no wrong time or no right time to start a thing. Yes, time has been wasted, but yes, you can always start after these things, but it's just better to plan ahead and ensure that, you know, like I said, your planning aligns with where you want to go. That's the most important thing. If you want to do business, give everyone a reason to believe that you can do business. And for goal setting and planning, you know, you can divide them into short-term and long-term goals, and, you know, probably figure out actionable steps to help you get to these goals. I have short-term goals for, let's say, my YouTube. I have long-term goals as well for it. And, you know, I figured out my actionable steps, especially this year, to get me to those goals. I have kind of slacked a bit, but, you know, I'm getting back on this grind. My next point is building relationships. If you're like me, I'm very laid back. I don't want to say laid back, but I'm just not someone who likes to shoot their shots when it comes to relationships, especially now. But before, I think I was a lot more open. The case is a bit different now. But if this is not you, you know, you're just starting life, and, you know, this period of your life, like, you get to establish relationships that are, you know, very friendly or platonic, and even romantic relationships as well. So for me, I feel like establishing a strong base based on common interests, like I say that a lot, I said that in my last video, common interest is so important. I think that helps with longevity. It really does. Try not to allow yourself to be influenced by the wrong crowd. Is so important because your mind is being shaped in this era, especially if you're younger. Just surround yourself with positive people who are supportive of your values. I can't say that enough because, I mean, these relationships can progress to both personal and even professional impact in the long run. You know, you'll continue to make friends. I've made friends even now. And like I said, I'm just a bit more laid back now, but notwithstanding, like, I've still made friends now. You continue to meet people as you go. It's just, where do your values align? If they don't align, it might be a struggle to keep up with those types of relationships. And understanding that some relationships are very short term, they're there to serve a purpose of maybe occupying you for the time, or you occupying them for the time. And after that, it's like end of the road. And some are just there to be lifelong, and, you know, sisterhood or brotherhood and all of that. Like, it can be really fantastic. So relationships are a two-way street. So definitely take the time to nurture your relationships as well. Pour into them as they pour into you. This has a lot of impact. You know, it can't be one-sided, especially if you say you care about these people. Ensure you're pouring back into them. Take care of your physical and mental well-being is my next point. Yes, this is very, very important. Honestly, child, if I tell you my mental health has not been tested, especially this year, I'm lying. And the crazy thing is, it will continue to be tested throughout time, throughout eternity, and ensuring your state of mind is fine. And this is very important because it ties into support, especially for your mental well-being. Having the right support system, family, friends, and just generally people around you, it goes a long way. It goes a long way, not just for yourself, career, people being there to cheer you on, people being there to support you. I'm so happy, and I truly felt so blessed, especially this year, realizing that people are happy to cheer me on and support me even before I ask. And I didn't know they liked me like that. I didn't know. But jokes aside, I'm just kidding, So, and, for your physical well-being, this ties into fitness. If you don't feel comfortable with the way you look now, baby, know what to do. Get yourself together. If you don't feel your best physically, hit the gym, work out. It's important. When you look good, you feel good. I don't really think there's much to say on that. When you look good, you feel good. And this is the time, even when your body is developing. I feel like I didn't fully develop until I was like 24, So don't pressure yourself. All this, you don't have this. Tell them to rest, okay? Tell them to rest, that you are still growing. So everybody, with their own journey, allow yourself to grow. If someone has X, Y, and Z, you don't have it yet, you two just breathe, okay? Just breathe. Don't pressure yourself. If you don't look a certain way physically, if you don't look a certain way, still ties into my point, work out. There's no harm in that. So yes, take care of your mind, your soul, and your body. If you need to consume the word of God too, consume that so that you can feel all right mentally as well, because I would add this to my point, embracing adaptability and flexibility. In spite of whatever choices you're making with your choice in career, we're living in such ever-changing moments. And for me, I knew I wanted to do YouTube since 2017, and I only just started in 2021. And somehow I've had to join both of them. It has forced me to work on my time management, just learning other things that are kind of outside my scope in terms of degree or in terms of a career. It has forced me to, build skills in other areas that are outside. It's just a thing of, okay, if I decide I don't want to do medicine, which I'm not saying, but if I decide, this is an option. So being flexible, being open to doing things that might be outside your scope, being adaptable in different environments really help. And I feel like that's something you kind of build over time. Don't expect yourself to just figure it out like that. It doesn't work like that. Give yourself grace, because we've all been there. So give yourself grace and allow yourself to really get in tune with that. It takes a bit of time. But it's very doable. Point is going to be cultivate financial responsibility. I was a bit iffy about talking about this because I don't really talk about finances here. But there comes a time in your life where you have to make hard decisions that have to do with money. And when you're younger, you're just chilling. You're being taken care of by loved ones, family, friends, and you just feel like you can be irresponsible regardless. My take on this is it starts from now. It really starts from now. Building the mindset, it really has to start early, knowing what is important to spend on and just, avoid. I would call it delayed gratification, because you don't have it now doesn't mean you won't have it in the next 10 years. That's my take. I don't stress myself about things I can't financially afford, because just because I can't afford it now doesn't mean in the next 10 years I won't be able to afford it then. So This is a thing to of influence, allowing yourself to be influenced by what you see. Oh, this person got a new bag and they have X, Y, and Z. Think about it. Do you really need it? If you are in a position where the people around you can afford that, then by all means, discard or disregard whatever I've said. But you know, all fingers are not equal. So I think it's important for you to not stretch yourself too thin. Do not stretch yourself too thin. What is good for you, stick to that. You understand your situation better than anybody. Trying to keep up with appearances, it don't work. It doesn't work long term. Fake life is expensive. As much as people like to downplay it, it's pretty expensive to live a fake life. You don't got it, you don't got it. You know, just start to cultivate the habit that I'm going to work with what I have. If you need more, then, you know, this is also a time to figure out, you know, if you want to start up things, do things. I mean, starting a business is not a bad idea, but, you know, you can start from little things around you, like serving your school. By serving your school, I mean, you know, having something that is essential to people in your school. Start from there. Getting responsible with your mindset about money kind of sort of starts now, and it's okay to figure it out later. It really is, because provided that you are under some form of provided that you are financially dependent, your hands may be a bit tied, but your mindset should start to shift. I've also done things financially that were just not the best investments, and you know, I've learned from that, and moving forward, like, I know what is better suited for me. And as you go, you will make mistakes, but that's the whole point. You learn from it and you stay away from it. So yeah. Last thing I would like to say is very lighthearted, but it's live in the moment. Honestly, I look back at, you know, my time a few years ago, and I realized I wasn't living in the moment. I wasn't enjoying it. And I look back now and I wish I documented those moments. I enjoyed them a lot more, but you know, life was lifing and things were happening. But I look back now and I wish I could like hold on to those moments with like whatever possible thing I can hold on to. Live in the moment, enjoy times with your friends, enjoy time with your family, because it really just goes like this. Here's the opportunities that come, the laughter. You know, it's I can't say this enough. Live in the moment. Enjoy whatever it is that, you know, that you're enjoying, whatever it is that, you know, kind of gives you some form of comfort or some sort of joy. Just enjoy it. I feel like it's so important. Enjoy the moment. If you get to chill with your friends, if you get to just enjoy it, okay? And that's basically a wrap for, you know, the essential things I think you should know before turning 20. Your 20s are truly for self-discovery, exploration, you know, making decisions for yourself. And, you know, I hope this video has brought valuable insights and, you know, you're able to apply them to your life. And yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in another video. And I don't forget my line.